So the book I read is called There Are No Children Here by Alex Kotlowitz, and it was published in 1992. It begins in 1985, but the story kind of still extends to like today because it talks about in the very beginning how they still go on fishing trips and stuff. But so the setting is in a ghetto of Chicago called the Henry Horner Homes, and it's basically like a public housing complex for like underprivileged people and stuff. And it's also known as the projects, or like the kids call it the Jecks. And okay, so basically it's about Alex and his journey with his family. He was a freelance journalist, and he was writing text for his friend's photo essay on children in poverty for Chicago Magazine. And then he came back afterwards because he thought it was a good idea to like learn more about these kids and like their life and everything, to write a story about children in poverty and how inner city violence like has a toll on them and stuff for Wall Street Journal. So basically he stayed in the Henry Horner Homes for a summer, and he got really, really close to this one family in particular. The mother's name was LaJoe, and she lives with her two sons, Lafayette and Pharaoh, and the triplets, Timothy, Tiffany, and Tammy. And she has a husband named Paul, and they've been married for like 17 years. And basically she was really dependent on him in the beginning, and they just kind of like fell out of love, and he just kind of went away, and he's like not in the picture anymore. So she's basically raising all these 5 children on her own. She has 8 children in total, but the older 3 kind of got into like drugs and like prostitution and stuff, and she just like really doesn't want that for her other kids. And so basically it just talks about like all the struggles they've had as a family, and just like how you can see how bad LaJoe does not want her kids to like get caught up with drugs and gangs. But it's just really hard because like that's what they see on a daily basis, like that's what's always surrounding them and like with them. So yeah, he just kind of like describes like how hard they work to like keep his kids off the streets and all this stuff, and it's over a 2-year basis, like the whole book. So like there's like, it's like kind of crazy how many experiences these kids have, and they're just so young, and like just what they have to deal with like all the time. It's so much more than I could imagine like having to go through. I'm really glad I read this book because it's just such a different setting, and it's like it's kind of hard to like put yourself in because like we live in such like a nice place and stuff, but it just like really makes you think. And just the fact that it's like an actual story and it's happening to these kids and they're just so young. And like it was talking about in the end like how LaJoe was really trying to like find a house to live in like outside of Henry Horner, and like they're trying to like find a house for like $80, but that was still like so much money to them, and it was just such a struggle, and they didn't end up finding a house. And it's just really sad. Like it's really hard to think, and especially in the beginning when Alex first interviewed the kids, he asked Lafayette what he wanted to be when he grew up, and Lafayette said, if I grow up I want to be a bus driver. And it's just crazy because he was only 10 and he wasn't sure if he was going to like make it to adulthood. So it's just like stuff like that that makes you really think, and like makes you want to be like grateful for what you have and help out more, I guess. So I really recommend this book. It's really good.